Fielding here. I have my Greco-backer here, so I had a bunch of people ask, hey, that was a really cool Greco-backer video that you did with the Heritage, but we'd love to hear it without the foam. So the foam is off, and I put my round wounds on, my D'Addario Pro Steels, which are my round wound of choice. And this is just big, beefy tone. Big open sounding Rick sounds. Quick question for those of you who haven't seen my other Rickenbacker B-15 video. Yes, this is a Greco-backer. It's made by Greco in the mid-70s in Japan. These were handmade basses. Yes, they were copies, but they were kind of every bit as good as those 4001s of that era. Not to offend you Rick guys, but that is really the truth. This is a beautiful, neck-through instrument. If you can find these anywhere, snatch them because they're just beautifully crafted instruments. And they have all the great attributes that a Rickenbacker has. At the time I didn't have enough money and I couldn't afford a regular Rickenbacker, and it turns out that I have had regular Rickenbacker since then, and I ended up staying with this because it was really, really beautiful. So, the concept here is you have a beautiful tube amp, you've got a round wound Rickenbacker, which is the classic combination. Yes, in the other video I talk about flat wound, I talk about McCartney, I talk about the other sound. This is the Bright sound, this is the Chris Squire sound, this is the Geddy Lee sound, this is the Lemmy sound. Gotta mention Lemmy, come on. Here I'm in my 60s, and I'm going to switch over to my 66 bias. I'm going to turn it up, I'm going to make the treble really nice and bright in that beautiful Baxton Doll EQ. Let's go to the bridge pickup. Middle pickup. With this bass and this amp, the combination of these beautiful tubes really bring out the trebly character of this bass, really bring out all the percussive elements. And I do play aggressively, not all the time, but a good amount of the time, especially when I'm playing this bass. I use this for sessions to get the thuddy sound, and I put my chromes on there, my flats, but then when I'm playing, I want a real vintage rock tone or a prog rock tone. You think of Mike Rutherford, you think of Chris Squire. Rutherford from Genesis, for you guys that don't know. That's like a foxtrot bass tone, that's like an early Genesis kind of bass tone. High watts, Rickenbackers. You couldn't really ask for much brighter tone. This really kind of has that. Both of those guys were pick users. I am predominantly 99% of the time a finger user, although I do use a pick. Let's go to the neck pickup. This will give me a hollow scoop tone. This bass also, surprisingly, has a tone style on it. All of my passive basses have tone stylers. So I'm going to go back to the other channel. Let me put my bypass on. And in this channel, it's going to give me a warmer tone generally, and I'll be able to get, kind of vintage finger Motown-y tones out of this. And Rickenbackers are very, very versatile guitars, bass guitars. They are known for that trebly side, but in the other video I explored the thuddier tones. Rick and the Rick bound pickups, you have that warm tone, but there's always this other element underneath it that is strictly a Rickenbacker type of sound that the Ampeg B-15, in my case the Heritage, really brings that out. And that's that, you're always getting that treble element. And it makes me want to kind of play it hard and dig in. And excuse my wanking, it's kind of really hard when you play this and have a bass as easy playing as this. With this amp you have all these great sounds. So how does the pick sound? The pick sounds great. And I'm going to go wide open. Here's a little mute. Now this is a great McCartney tone. Great tone. Now to go back to that other bright tone again for like more modern bass tones and maybe even kind of metalish bass tones. You don't think of the B-15 as a great metal amp, but you know what? It's a great, unbelievably versatile amp, and you can do pretty much anything your heart desires with it. Can you get wild, overdriven tones? No, not without roasting it. You don't want to turn it up because there's no gain stage. It's just volume, and it's only 30 watts. So there's a reason why people don't tour with these amps. This is a recording amp. That's a beautiful, beautiful sound. Big, open, classic Rickenbacker tone. It's like a Lemmy kind of tone. Don't know if that's right. Love Motorhead, but never learned the bass line, but you know, Lemmy's an original. I got my tone style wide open. I really dig, is that you really hear all of what you're doing with your fingers coming out. This bass has a split personality. You can get these really big, awesome, round, distorted, guitar-like, bass guitar-like tones. And then you can get these really warm, beautiful, kind of subdued. But it never kind of loses its character along the way. And again, if you have a real Rickenbacker or you have a copy, which I consider every bit as good as the original, you're able to create these really, really cool tones. The Rickenbacker has its place in history for sure, and is really known for that bright edge tone. But again, you've got all this great variation. You can do Stax type of stuff with it, and you can do Motowny stuff, and of course Beatles stuff. Just a great, great sound. So, the Greco-backer, or your Rickenbacker, along with the Ampeg B-15 or Heritage B-15. It is a beautiful combination. It is a great recording sound. And if you're working in the recording studio, you have access to use a Heritage or a B-15, I'm sure you'll be pleasantly surprised at how open and beautiful it makes your bass guitar sound. Just a great tone. Great tone. Rickenbacker, Heritage B-15.